Hey there folks, I am the Mighty Plantain. Thanks for checking out this video. We've got today the Sam Adams Winter Classics for 2018, and I think I've got the audio issues in here licked. Turns out what I was picking up on the camera was GSM interference. It's basically from cell phones communicating with the towers for data. So when I tried to unplug the external mic, it went back to in order to address the GSM interference issue, it went back to using the GoPro's internal microphone, which is awful. I'm sure you heard the background helicopter sounding noise in a few videos. But what I've done is I've got the GSM antenna turned off on the phone. I still use the Wi-Fi to control the GoPro. This is way more information than you really need, isn't it? But I think I've got it fixed. The only way that interference should show up again is if it's picking up on my wife's phone, which should be far enough away from the equipment that it doesn't happen. She sleeps upstairs and brings her phone with her. I can't ask her to turn her phone off at night. So, like I said, hopefully the audio issues are fixed. I'm taking no shit from the audio issues. I figured out where the plug was for the refrigerator, so I was able to unplug that, so that shouldn't make any noise. I'm not unplugging the damn heater in here, though. It would freeze my ass off if I unplugged the heater or turned the heater off. I'm not really unplugging it. Okay, speaking of taking no shit, make sure to check out That Larry Show, thatlarryshow.com, or patreon.com/thatlarryshow. The TNS Dojo, great meeting place, once a week on Tuesdays. Trust me, you're going to learn something. Definitely check it out. It's a great podcast, and, if you like it, sign up for the Patreon. You'll get bonus content. Anyway, check it out. Thatlarryshow.com or patreon.com/thatlarryshow. So, that's all my housekeeping stuff. And let's get into this pack of beer from Sam Adams. Now, this is the Winter Classics. One of the packs I look forward to every year. Between the winter and the fall, I'm not sure which one is my favorite. But the winter has always got the nice, dark beers, except this year. We've got Sam 76. It's a decent beer, but it is definitely on the bottom in terms of my preference for Sam Adams brews. I'm not a huge fan. It just doesn't have a huge amount of character or taste. It is a nice, light, crisp, refreshing beer. I know they say it's a blend between a lager and an ale, so it does have an interesting juxtaposition of flavors in there, but it doesn't tickle my fancy enough that I want to see it in my Winter Classics pack, and it's definitely not a heavy enough beer to belong in here. So I'm pissed off at that little guy right now. He doesn't belong in this pack. Boston Lager, of course, belongs in any Sam Adams variety pack. The Winter Lager, that's a given. Chocolate Bock, Old Fezziwig, Holiday Porter, all great beers. I think what bothers me the most about this is that I picked up this 12-pack at the local beer store, and I see it in a lot of the supermarkets around, but then I go to Sam's Club. And Sam's Club has their 24-pack, which is basically twice as many of the same varieties as what's in the 12-pack every season, except this year. This year's Sam Adams Winter Classics purchased at Sam's Club does not have the Sam 76. It's got Noble Pills instead. Are you fucking kidding me? The Noble Pills belongs in here. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not something that I typically think of as a dark, heavy winter beer, but you know what? I'd take it over the 76, especially in a winter beer pack, any day. I'm pretty sure the Chocolate Bock was swapped out for a different beer in the Sam's Club one. Okay, I'm sorry. No, the Holiday Porter is what was replaced in the the Sam's Club Sam Adams pack. The Holiday Porter was swapped out for Cream Stout, which is actually a pretty damn good beer too. I think I'd still prefer to have the Holiday Porter because I can get the cream stout in a 6-pack anytime, but the cream stout belongs in this pack more than the Sam 76 does for sure. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to crap on the Sam 76 constantly. It is a good beer. It's just not a winter beer. It doesn't belong in this pack. I'm offended by its presence here, and it's not one that I would choose to go out of my way to get. You know, it's a good beer, but I'm not specifically going to go buy it. I would honestly get Sam Summer or one of their other crisp, light, and refreshing beers over the 76 any day of the week. That being said, it is the lightest beer in the pack, so we're going to start off with the Sam 76. Now, some of these are a little tricky. I might not have these lined up quite right, and hell, there might not be a perfect way to line them up, because in terms of heaviness and flavor, I think they're kind of neutral in terms of what could overwhelm what. Between the Chocolate Bock, the Holiday Porter, Old Fezziwig, those three are the ones that are really tricky. Sam 76, Boston Lager, and Winter Lager are obviously going to be the first three. Winter Lager's nice and heavy, but it doesn't have as heavy a character as the Holiday Porter, Chocolate Bock, or the unique flavor of the Old Fezziwig. So, we're going to go Sam 76, Boston Lager, Winter Lager, Old Fezziwig, Holiday Porter, and then Chocolate Bock. I think that's the best way to do it. Alright, so Sam 76, we've seen this before. It's a slightly cloudy, very light colored beer, very effervescent. Lots of bubbles coming up through there. It does have this nice, light, crisp, and refreshing aroma. It's got maybe a slight hint of hoppiness. There's a bit of bitterness there, but it's, you know, that's mostly likely hoppiness. It's not a particularly hoppy beer, though. Yeah, 12 IBUs, so it could just be the combination of malts that are in there that's giving it that bit of a bitter aroma. It is slightly grainy, so. It does have that nice, crisp, light, and refreshing mouthfeel. It's got a nice, grainy profile to it. It is a blend of a lager and an ale. So it's going to have, I don't know, it has a slightly unique character to it, but nothing that really sets it apart for me. I think what kills me about this beer is that it's more reminiscent of Bud Light, Miller Lite, Coors Light, Pabst, some of those more neutral, just plain beers, as compared to what I'm used to from Sam Adams. And there's not much hoppiness to it. Again, it's 12 IBUs, so even though I was getting a bit of an aroma of bitterness, I'm thinking that's coming down more to the graininess than any particular hop esters coming forward. It's just it's incredibly drinkable. It's not a bad beer. I don't dislike it. I just don't enjoy it as much as most of their other offerings. So yeah, this one is a miss for me from Sam Adams. I'm gonna hit it with a 3 out of 5. Because like I said, it's a good beer. It's not average. It's good. Again, on a scale of 1 to 5, 2.5 is average. So it's a solid offering. It's just not. Yeah, it just doesn't make me excited in any way, shape, or form. And I think I'm just really pissed off about it being in the Winter Classics pack. I'm going to try not to harp on that too much now that this beer is done. So I'm going to finish it. I'm going to cleanse with some water. Not that there's a whole lot of flavor there to get rid of. And then we'll grab the Boston Lager. And that's right here. Sam Adams Boston Lager. There's not going to be any surprises here, folks. If you've seen any of my videos of the Sam Adams beers before, well, the variety packs, then you know what's coming. Slightly effervescent, a beautiful golden amber brown, not cloudy, clear. It's got enough color that there's not, you know, the light's not coming straight through it, but it is not cloudy at all. It doesn't have any flecks or flocks. It's a very clear beer, but nice grainy hoppy aroma. A little hint of sweetness, a little hint of fresh cut grain, just a general overall hoppy bitterness. No particular esters coming through in the aroma for me. That nice medium light mouthfeel. There's nothing in particular about it. It's just this perfect combination of grains, hops. Everything about the beer is just excellent. Comes together so well. You know, just that hint of that non-specific hoppy bitterness in the finish. That nice grainy, mouthful of graininess. It's got a slight sweetness to it. There's really no way to describe it other than like this perfectly well put together beer. It's so well rounded. Everything I like about it exemplifies what a beer should taste like to me. And it doesn't necessarily fit into the style that it's listed as in most beer catalogs in terms of the flavor and everything, but for me, the beer itself is just perfect. Like I said, no surprises. This is always a full 5 out of 5 for me. Hasn't changed today. I'm going to finish it up, cleanse with some water, and then we'll check out the Winter Lager. Alright, so Winter Lager, number 3. Festive Bock beer. I never realized this was actually supposedly a Bock style. Huh. Maybe I should have put it after the old Fezziwig and Holiday Porter before the Chocolate Bock. I don't know. I remember Winter Lager being light enough that those other three should all go after it. So I'm going to stick with this lineup. Look at that. It's got definitely a much darker color to it than the Boston Lager. A bit of a reddish tinge, but mostly a nice deep brown. Not very effervescent. There's not a lot of bubbles coming up through there. In fact, not really any at all. Huh. Just a general kind of grainy aroma, almost neutral. Not much going on there. Nice medium mouthfeel. It's got a bit of a sweet malty character. I think I've mentioned that on the other two as well. But a nice sweet malty character. A little toasty. It's got that warming spice blend. but nothing too crazy. Just a nice toasty, slightly sweet, medium mouthfeel winter beer. I'm going to nail this one with a 3.5 out of 5. There's nothing crazy coming forward for me, or no ridiculous flavors, but it is a fairly above average beer in terms of the overall experience. I mean, it's a Sam Adams winter lager. It's good. But it's, again, it's not... boy, I am drawing a blank on an adjective here. I guess I'm just not concentrating tonight, folks. Sorry. But, yeah, I want to say it's not flamboyant, but that's got other connotations. But it's kind of appropriate here. It's not loud. It's not crazy. It's not out there. It's just a nice, simple winter beer. So there you go, winter lager, 3.5 out of 5. Not flamboyant. I'm gonna finish this up. We're gonna move on to the next. Now we've got old Fezziwig. Oh, I look forward to this one every year, folks, and if it ever doesn't show up in the holiday pack, I think I'm going to be highly disappointed. I really wish you could get this as a 6-pack. I would buy it separately, especially this year where there was nothing new in the Winter Classics. It's all stuff we've had before. I would have just gone for the old Fezziwig. Don't get me wrong. I love most of these other beers, but to get the variety pack with nothing new in it, and Sam 76 taking the place of an actual winter beer, I think I'm just really disappointed. And that's probably why I don't have much to say about each of these beers. I'm hesitant, I'm not very descriptive, and I'm kind of falling flat, to be honest, when I listen to myself. So maybe you're getting more out of it than I am, but I really just feel like this has been a pretty weak video altogether. But it's about to get better. Old Fezziwig. Like I said, this is one that I really wish you could get outside of the holiday pack. I would buy a bunch of this and stock up for the year. Don't get me wrong, I do prefer drinking it during the colder months, but there are times, middle of summer, I'll wish I had an old Fezziwig. The name escapes me right now, but there was a viewer suggestion a while back about a beer from another company that has a similar spice flavor to it. I don't want to say spicy, because that these days that denotes a spicy hot beer, but the spice blend, the spice character of this beer, it did come close. It was another winter beer. Shoot, I'll post a link to the video up in the cards up there that pop up. But look at that. That is a uniquely colored brown beer. Maybe a little reddish, but it's mostly just a very light, maybe orangey red brown. I really like the looks of it. It's not very effervescent. There's not a lot of bubbles coming up from that nucleation point down there, but it's just unique and different. I'm not sure what type of spices they put in there. Cinnamon, ginger, and orange peel is what they have listed there. And I think I have to double check that every year, because there's something about the combination of those together. This is going to sound bad, but it's reminiscent of some kind of old cough medicine that I used to have once in a while, but it's a pleasant association. Because they just kind of combine together and give this beer a slightly different spice character that you really don't find anywhere else. Like I said, there was another beer from a different brewery that came close, but it wasn't quite an exact match. I believe I still wound up preferring the old Fezziwig. it is. A nice medium mouthfeel. Just something unique and different about it. Old Fezziwig. It's another perfect 5 out of 5 for me. And I think part of it is because I enjoy it so much, it does give me that wow reaction. It's something familiar about this time of year. Something I can pretty much always count on to be there. And it's unique. There's nothing quite exactly like it. And it's delicious. It's got that full 5 out of 5 from me. So I'm going to finish it up, and we're going to move on to beer number 5. Getting ahead of myself. Beer number 5. Better double check. Yeah, number 5. Alright. Alright, next up is the Holiday Porter. Robust and full-bodied, it says here. And again, this one's not much of a mystery. We've had it before plenty of times. I believe I've reviewed it at least twice on this channel in different winter seasonal packs. And again, there's nothing wrong with it. It's great. Now that's getting a little bit darker than what we've had so far. Old Fezziwig was the darkest so far. This is more of an opaque brown, less light coming through. More of a reddish tinge than some of the others. Excuse me. It is getting late. It is not very effervescent. Not very many bubbles coming up through there, but again, it is a darker, heavier, more robust beer. Getting a little bit of roastiness. Maybe slightly smoky. Oh, yep. That is a nice roasty beer. You could definitely tell that the malt's on the darker side because it has been roasted more. A little hint of that smoky character coming through in the finish. Medium mouthfeel, so heavier than the others. Just nice and dark and heavy. A great filling porter with the kind of character that you come to associate with a nice heavy beer that you would sit in front of the fireplace and drink. It's damn good. It's a hit for me every time it comes up in the winter pack. I'm going to throw a 4 out of 5 at it. It's good. It's familiar. It's delicious. It's a great porter. It's a nice winter beer. Nothing that's making it stand out too much, just overall, really enjoyable. And definitely a significantly above average porter for me. So I'm going to finish that one up. Rinse with a little water again, and then we're going to finish things off with the Chocolate Bock. Alright, so last up we have the Chocolate Bock. This one's been in the winter pack a few times. I miss the old iteration of it, the Chocolate Cherry Bock, which actually had a really nice cherry flavor to it as well. And I almost think that they did a coffee variation as well, but I could be getting that confused with Black and Brew, which was another one that came out with the winter pack. But there's been at least, I think there's been at least 2 other versions of the Chocolate Bock, and I know one was cherry. I think the other one might have been a coffee, but I'll have to double check that. by far the darkest. Well, maybe not. Yeah, definitely. By far the darkest in the pack so far. That's got very, very little light coming through it. What is coming through, once again, tinged a little bit red, but it is a deep, deep, dark brown. I'm not seeing any bubbles coming up through. And I can smell the chocolate. I mean, it's subtle. It's not like it's, sniffing a Hershey bar or anything. You can definitely tell there's a chocolate aroma to it. Not much else there. Maybe a little bit of roasty aroma. And just that subtle hint of chocolate. That's a nice medium heavy mouthfeel. Just a smooth, dark, medium heavy mouthfeel beer. Roasty notes. Oh, there's the chocolate in the finish. And I don't believe there's any actual chocolate added to this. Oh, it is aged on cocoa nibs. Okay, so that's where it gets some of that. Now, a good portion of the chocolate flavor is going to come from the chocolate malt that's used. It's going to be heavily roasted, and it's just going to have some chocolate flavor to it, but those cocoa nibs are going to be imparting a lot of what we're tasting, too. Yep. And just smooth, dark, and delicious. There's not much else coming through except those roasty notes up front, maybe a hint of smokiness, and then that chocolate in the finish. So it's another one I'm going to give a 4 out of 5. Just an old-time favorite of mine. A really solid, really great beer. It's just not... There's not a lot of complex flavors coming through. It's just that chocolatey... Pardon. That toasty, chocolatey Bock. But they do a really good job of tying it all together in this beer. So, there you have it. Out of the 6, not a bad setup. That Sam 76 was really disappointing me. I'm not a fan of the beer, personally, and I don't think it has any place in the Winter Classics. Get rid of it, guys. Come on. Put it in the summer pack. I wouldn't mind it in the summer pack, or even in the spring pack, but not in the fall or winter packs. Fall and winter are for darker, heavier beers with more flavor and character. I definitely wouldn't mind it in the summer pack next to Sammy Summer. Boston Lager, always a perfect 5 out of 5 for me. Perfectly well-balanced beer. Winter Lager, nice, solid offering. Old Fezziwig, can't get it anywhere else. I look forward to it every year. Wish I could get it in a 6-pack. I say that every year as well. Holiday Porter, nice, solid offering. Same thing for the Chocolate Bock. Would like to see the more subtle flavors of the Chocolate Cherry Bock come back, but it is what it is. Folks, if you're picking up the Winter Classics pack from Sam Adams this year, and you have a Sam's Club membership, hold out. Go to Sam's Club. Spend the little bit extra to get the 24-pack. Honestly, with this rolling in at $15 to $16 plus tax and deposit, and I think it's probably even $16 or $17.99 in some places, but let's say $15 to $16 to be conservative. For the 12-pack, and go to Sam's Club and you're paying $27 plus tax and deposit. For the 24-pack, you're making out better because you're getting 2 12-packs for cheaper than you would outside of Sam's Club. Plus, you're not going to get the Sam 76. Personally, I won't miss it. You're going to get the Noble Pills instead. I love the hoppy beers, so in my opinion, it's a great trade-off. Losing the Holiday Porter for the Cream Stout, honestly, Not a bad trade-off there either. I mean, I'll miss the holiday porter if it's not there, but the cream stout is a really nice substitute for it. So, again, economically and taste-wise, as far as having better winter beers, get the Sam Adams Winter Classics at Sam's Club this year, if you can. I'm frankly puzzled as to why the beer lineup is different between the two in a different location. Maybe they dropped the 12-pack, got some feedback saying, hey, fuck the Sam 76, and then decided to, when they put out the 24-pack, to swap out a couple of things. I don't know. Just, I wish I had known that they were going to be different. I would have waited and gotten mine at Sam's Club. But, que sera, sera. Still a pretty solid pack. Good beers all around. Even the Sam 76. I know, I've spent an inordinate amount of time crapping on it, but it's still a good beer. I want to be clear about that. I would just not put it very far above average. It's not one of my favorites, and it's certainly not a winter beer. But that's all just my opinion. Hit me up down in the comments and the email link down below. Love to hear what you have to say, whether you agree or disagree on any of the points I made during this whole review. Like to hear your thoughts on the individual beers or as a whole, this pack. While you're down there, make sure to like and share the video, and if you liked what you saw, don't forget to subscribe so you'll get notifications about new videos first. Till next time, folks, thanks for tuning in. Take no shit, and cheers.